So Grandmaster Nightfalls are right around the corner, and you're wondering what weapons you should take in so you can deal with the champions and claim your Conqueror title. Well, you've stumbled across the right video. I'm Jackbuzza, and I'm going to be showing you some of the weapons that I think will be fantastic for the upcoming Grandmaster Nightfalls. I'll also include how to acquire the exotics, and I've also included a few legendaries to look out for. But let's get straight into this list. First, we have the Witherhoard. The Witherhoard is probably one of the most used exotic special weapons in the game, and that's for a good reason. This tube-loaded grenade launcher is insanely versatile, from being able to apply damage over time to area control with its pulls. Any player can grab the Witherhoard from the exotic archive if they have the required materials. It's a 100% must pick up for all endgame activities and makes a great exotic to slot into pretty much any build. Next, we have the Leviathan's Breath. Bungie were determined to make the Leviathan's Breath a weapon that people pick up, and they have succeeded in doing so. The Leviathan's Breath is now a great go-to heavy for activities with unstoppable champions. Because of its range, it makes a great choice for Grandmasters because it can quickly and easily hit champions from such a long distance without any damage fall off. There is also a glitch where the weapon deals insane amounts of damage as long as your FPS is above 160. It's weird, but it works sometimes. Leviathan's Breath will be a great heavy exotic for Grandmasters when they launch. The Leviathan's Breath also can be picked up from the exotic archive. Next, we have the Osteostrigger. The Osteostrigger is one of the more unique SMGs we've got in Destiny. It acts similarly to the Needler from Halo and fires tracking rounds. The Osteo struggles at a range, however makes up for it with its unique poison dot, which spreads if the enemy is defeated. The Strigger deals great damage for a primary weapon and should 100% be considered if you're looking for a primary to take in. The range of the tracking projectiles isn't great, so you will need to be reasonably close to the enemy or at least at mid-range. The Osteostrigger can be acquired at the end of the Witch Queen campaign by completing the crafting pattern. The Wish Ender. The Wish Ender is a bow that hasn't seen much relevancy very often. Last time I remember using the Wish Ender was when it was bugged and dealt 5 times damage. The Wish Ender is a great anti-barrier weapon, and it should take out barrier champs' shields in about 1 to 2 hits. Because of the Wish Ender's insanely high damage per shot for a primary weapon, and its range, it makes for an excellent pick for Grandmasters, as you'll be able to pick away slowly at even the spongiest of enemies. The Wish Ender can be obtained through a secret challenge within the Shattered Throne dungeon. Up next, we have Le Monarque. The Le Monarque is a void bow that has great versatility. It can apply damage over time, disrupt overload champions, and has an AoE explosion that poisons nearby enemies once you hit a crit shortly after hitting a full draw. Due to it being a bow, it also has great range and can be used to pick off bigger targets from a distance. The Le Monarque can be acquired by any player from the exotic archive in the tower. Izanagi's Burden. While technically Izzy doesn't take down champions this season, its burst damage capabilities can't be ignored. Take down a champion's barrier, unload a single honed edge shot, and it'll leave the champion reeling. Because Izanagi's Burden is a special weapon, the ammo economy is solid for a weapon dealing this much damage, but it will put your exotic slot into an exotic that can't counter a champion this season. Izanagi's Burden can be acquired from the exotic archive in the tower. Aega's Scepter. Aega's Scepter now has intrinsic anti-unstoppable due to its shatter effect. If you're happy to put your super into your weapon, you'll be able to stun lock champions of all types while your team deals with them. This will go great with an Osmiomancy Warlock build, allowing you to shatter everything in sight. Aega's can be acquired from the exotic archive in the tower. The Thunderlord. The Thunderlord Destiny 1 exotic has returned to its former glory. With intrinsic overload, the Thunderlord is able to rip through targets, especially with its catalyst, allowing you to hold the trigger even longer. This is a great heavy weapon for dealing damage at mid-range to champions or a group of adds. The Thunderlord can be acquired from a random exotic world drop or an engram. The Quicksilver Storm. While unfortunately this weapon is a pre-order only bonus from the Lightfall DLC, it is still worth mentioning. This auto rifle has great damage, especially after the 25% buff to auto rifles coming in the mid-season patch, and can deal burst damage with the help of its micro missiles and its grenade launcher mode. And this season it will disrupt overloads with the artifact perk. And for our final exotic, we have the Arbalest. The Arbalest has always been a great pick for Grandmasters, and that's because it is a kinetic linear fusion rifle that basically counters all shield types. It has intrinsic anti-barrier and hits like a truck. If you own the Lightfall expansion, you can obtain this weapon from the Cosmodrome vendor Shaw, otherwise it is a random world drop. For the legendaries to look out for, I'm only going to name a few as everyone has their favorite loadout when it comes to legendaries. You should focus on legendaries that will counter shields and fill anti-champion slots, but be on the lookout for the Name Flameless Midnight Scout Rifle, which can be a world drop, or the Hung Jury Scout Rifle acquired from focusing at Zavala. Weapons that can roll with chill clips such as the Lingering Dread from the Duality Dungeon, the Deliverance from Vow of the Disciple, or the Riptide from random Crucible drops. And these are just some of the weapons you should absolutely consider taking into Nightfalls this season. Remember, throwing on random weapons won't help your team. Coordinate with your fire team to make sure you're covering all the required shields and the required champion mods to make your Grandmaster go as smoothly as possible. That's all for today's video. Make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss a new one. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time, Guardians.
Because Callus is smart. He'll have his most powerful forces guarding the radio mast.
Some kind of energy lock. Disrupting the circuit should open the door.